Well, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to a beautiful Sunday morning, and we are watching the finish of Alexia Barrier on the TSE for my planet coming in to cross the finish line in 24th place. And Alexia's had a back injury for quite a few days now. She's struggled with that, and so there will be the immediate relief of getting through the line and into the medical care of Dr. Jean-Yves Chauve. But I'm sure at the moment she's just enjoying the final half a mile or so to the finish line. She has shown remarkable tenacity and drive to get around this course. And what is the oldest boat in the race, launched in 1998 as Catherine Chabot's the Penguin, the Queen. And this boat is completing its sixth round the world passage. And of course, this is Alexia Barrier's first Vendée Globe. She's already promised it won't be her last. She intends to be back in 2024, but enjoying a beautiful morning, just sunrise, light breezes and flat seas. She has the spectator fleet out. Her friends and family from the south, from the Mediterranean, where she lives. She's the first Mediterranean woman sailor to finish the Vendée Globe. Anyway, her friends and family were out on the water from the back of 6 o'clock this morning, just coming up to towards 7:30. She's expected on the finish round about 7:25, something like that. 7:17 local time here in Les Sables d'Olonne. And Alexia has sailed a fabulous race, considering the age of her boat and the fact that she really only secured her main sponsor TSE in September before the start, only a couple of months before the start. She really could be sure that she had the money to complete the race. She's had a few moments, a few tough moments over the course of the race, and not least when she exploded her runner block, nearly lost the rig at one point, and also the period going into Cape Horn. She had a really tough storm, 10 days, but she rode out the storm. She passed Cape Horn with this huge trademark smile. She's such an effervescent and skipper with a real joy for life. She's taken on the daily problems that you always expect and encounter on the Vendée Globe. She's taken them on with a smile, and that's been part of her approach all the way through the race. She said, "You have to get through these problems. Don't let the dark clouds come over you. You have to get through the problems with a positive attitude," and she's done that. And here she is being rewarded this beautiful Sunday morning, say just about sunrise. But it has been a cold night, a cold frost this morning around Les Sables d'Olonne. And she's a little bit up against the time for the tide in the channel. She needs to be into the channel by 8 o'clock. She's not going to miss the tide, so there's a certain urgency, as usual with these situations when you have a skipper coming in with a big time window with no boats to chase in front and no boats chasing her from behind. There's always a suggestion when the optimum time will be to come into the channel, vis-a-vis when there's likely to be the most public out. I think in Alexia's case, it's really just she's decided she wants to come in and get into the channel. So it's been a cold night, and there's no need to stay out any longer. I'm sure she'll have a big welcome. Plenty of people holidaying in Les Sables d'Olonne just now, and fully aware of the Vendée Globe. We had a big finish for Sam Davis the other day, who of course finished outside of the race. So there's a big public following for the race just now, and I'm quite sure this beautiful Sunday morning there'll be plenty of people will turn out in the channel, in the famous Les Sables channel, to welcome back Alexia. So there, she's on the bow of TSC For My Planet, waiting to sight down at the finish line. She's about 0.7 of a mile from the finish line, doing about probably 9-10 knots, a little bit more than that perhaps. She's had a pretty tough time all in all coming across the Bay of Biscay with this back injury. She said a couple of days ago when we spoke to her that she couldn't really believe that it was going to be upwind. In fact, the wind axis was blowing directly from Les Sables d'Olonne. She was directly upwind. So just enjoy the images. It's still, even after 23 finishers, Alexia's the 24th. You never ever tire of the unique experience that is watching a skipper crossing the finish line of the Vendée Globe, solo, non-stop, unassisted, all the way around the planet. It's totally unique. The sailor has left Les Sables d'Olonne and is returning to Les Sables d'Olonne around the world non-stop. It remains one of the unique sporting experiences. So she will cross the finish line in the next few seconds. She has the perfect vantage point on the bow of TSE For My Planet, a boat that she said all the way around the coast that she loves. Has hardly complained at all about the physicality of it. It's a big, heavy, strong, but reliable boat. It requires a lot of physical effort and the minimal protection for the Southern Oceans. She is really being rewarded. It was a beautiful morning for the finish. Nice to see her moving around. She did say that her back had improved slightly in the last couple of days. But she, like Miranda Merrin and Sam Davis, very much contemporaries with sailing and racing careers dating back 20 years or so. Alexia is very much a contemporary of the other girls who have finished. So there we go, coming through the finish line at 7:23:44 local time here in Les Sables d'Olonne, 6:23:44 UTC. Alexia Barrier has completed the Vendée Globe in 24th place and has realised the dream that was possessed her for so long, and say at one point was struggling for sponsorship, was struggling to get her final budget together, and TSD stepped in September, and here she is crossing the finish line, reunited with her technical team, her partner. So the job is done. Alexia Barrier has completed the Vendée Globe. She has a big team of supporters on the water and will be on the pontoon. Her parents, Michelle and Michelle Barrier, are here. Her partner, Max. And somewhere in the mix, her little black Labrador called Nika, who's 2 years old, will be here to welcome her. And on board the boat, then our project manager, Mark Clavero, Julot Pico, Franck Giffon, Corentin Cousin, Gérard Vineyard, and Warren Fitzgerald. And of course, those of you who follow the race over the last few days with for this finish will know that on the menu for breakfast should be pizza and champagne. What a way to finish your Vendée. Absolutely perfect circumstances, conditions. Sunday morning, just after dawn, light breezes, flat seas, all your friends and family round about you, helping to celebrate this huge achievement for Alexia. So her race times then, she crossed the finish line at 6:23:44. Race time 111 days, 17 hours, 3 minutes. She's 31 days, 13 hours behind the winner, who's of course Yannick Mesthaven, and 7 days, 22 hours, 48 minutes behind the previous skipper, which of course is actually Manu Cousin, of course, because the two previous boats into the channel were Sam Davis and Isabel Josh, not finishers. The last finisher before in 23rd was Satin. Manu Cousin arrived on 20th. So Alexia, 111 days, 31 days behind the leader, 7 days behind the preceding boat. 9.09 knots for the theoretical course of 24.5 nautical miles, and she sailed 28,170 miles at 10.51 knots. And that is one of the key stats for the race, is the miles sailed and the average speed, and that is pretty solid, that result there for Alexia. 28.70, 10.51. Quick comparison: Manu Cousin 29 at 115, 11.69, 27.665 for Miranda Mirren. So Alexia, of course, runs her own charitable enterprise, For My Planet, which she has done for some considerable number of years now, and that is the umbrella for her race program, highlighting the ocean health and sustainability. That's what she's passionate about. And TSE, as they came on board in September before the start, they're a major player in the world of solar energy. And she had her own little mini laboratory on board, taking water samples all the way around the world. So education program reaching thousands and thousands of young people, particularly in her native Mediterranean cities and towns. So she's a big supporter of the IMOCA sustainability programs and ocean health programs as well, deploying her meteokrans buoy over the course of the race and indeed the Argo float. And I think a really outstanding features of Alexia's race really were just her real drive and determination, her big smile, and a lot of that belies the fact that she's pretty much an all-rounder when it comes to ocean racing. She sailed in so many different classes and so many different races. I think even before she'd gone into the Amoca class, she'd done over 100,000 miles ocean racing in different types of boat. Starting out as a match racer and a mini sailor, she sails in classic boats and maxis, big multi hulls. And she was very much into the pace of her race early on, pushing the boat hard. And initially, she was staying with the group you'd expect her to be with. She crossed the equator in 25th place, Cape of Good Hope. She was at 21st place, 25th again at Cape Lewin, of course, because some of the boats which were faster, which were slow in the early stages or had problems in the early stages came through. So say she was 25th at Cape Lewin, 24th at Cape Horn, and 24th in the equator. And when we spoke to her before the start, when she was asked what was her main characteristic, the main strength she saw, which would get her around the world, she said, in an instant, she said, my fighting spirit, and for sure that is one of the characteristics which has been on show all the way around the last 111 days. She's been a pleasure to communicate with all the way through the race, not averse to giving us a song or a little bit of dancing here and there. And so lovely to see her reunited with her partner and her technical team and her friends and family. I say this is the sixth passage around the world of this boat, which was built in January 1998. We went to the water 31st of January, in fact, in 1998. Was when it went to water. Construction and design was in 1997. Built by MAG France. It's a Mark Lombard design. Initially went to water as Catherine Chabot's World Europe 2. Of course, Catherine didn't manage to finish the Vendée Globe. It's dismasted off the Spanish coast. And then became Tiscali Global Challenge for did the Around Alone with the Italian skipper Simon Bianchetti. And then Mark Tjerselin took the 2004 Vendée Globe on the boat and had to abandon New Zealand. And the American Brad Van der Vaart did the five oceans, the Velux Five Oceans in 2010 and won every stage. If you remember that one. And more recently, this is the boat that Tanguy de la Motte sailed in the 2012 race, wasn't it? He finished 10th, 98 days and 21 hours. Then in the last race, this boat that Roman Atanasio sailed to 15th, and he took 109 days, 22 hours, and 4 minutes. So Alexia's had the boat since 2018. She did the Monaco Globe Series in 2018 when she finished ninth. She did the 2018 Route de Rhum, the last Route de Rhum, when she was 15th. 2019, she did the Bermuda 1000 race and finished 14th. And in 2019, did the Transatlantic Cabra and finished at 25th. So she's a bit of an all-round sports person, or she was. She got so much into sailing. She started at the age of 3 with her parents, then became a sailing instructor at 15. But she was a top level sports person: basketball, athletics, horse riding, and she is a native of the Côte d'Azur and a big fan of AS Monaco, which is where her enterprise for my planet is based, and her association, her for my planet, has been based in Monaco for 10 years now. She grew up in Nice and lives in a little village called Bio near Antibes. So wasting no time then, because she has to be into the channel as soon as possible after passing the famous finish line. The Sud marks the extreme end of the finish line and the committee vote. So we don't see any pizza as yet. I'm sure there will be some available for her. And just a quick confirmation that she's going to come into the channel this morning, which is good news for everyone, really. So we're going to cut in a few seconds and we'll join you in the channel, give you time to charge your pickups and enjoy the channel with Alexia Barrier, who finished 24th in the Vendée Globe this morning, charging towards the channel as quickly as possible. So join us in just a few minutes and we'll enjoy her channel passage. Welcome back. Well, in a few minutes. Well, here we are with Alexia Barrier then coming into the famous Les Sables d'Olonne channel, having finished her Vendée Globe just a matter of 40 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. Just approaching the channel. She has about 10 minutes to get in on this ebbing tide. So we know from on board that Alexia is struggling just a little bit. She's not very mobile with this back problem. You can see she's a little bit restrained in her movements. I think, as usual, very much running on adrenaline just now. The excitement, the enjoyment, and of course the huge release of stress and pressure, knowing that the finish line is crossed. These wonderful moments when she no longer has to be in control of her boat. Just getting the race flags up. So for those of you who perhaps have not really followed Alexia's race so closely in recent weeks, you maybe just joined us to watch the finish. Alexia damaged her back a few days ago, and as usual with these kind of things, it's so often a very simple procedure, relatively straightforward. She was actually just changing her clothes and she fell over backwards. And damaged towards the base of her spine. Speaking with Dr. Yves Chauve, Jean-Yves Chauve, in the last couple of days, he was just saying that, in fact, it's not a dissimilar pain and immobility similar to what both Roman Attanasio and Sam Davis have had. Their damage was to the ribs, but this is something similar. They're fairly sure there's no fracture, and it's just going to be a case of taking it super easy over the next few weeks and letting the little bone repair itself. So she took on La Penguin, this famous boat, in February 2018. She's taken the start of all the main Mocha Globe Series races without exception. there you go. The picture of tenacity is Alexia, determined to enjoy these moments, just as she was showed the same tenacity approaching Cape Horn. She had 10 days of big storms, and she emerged from them to round Cape Horn with that big smile, the same big smile that's on her face this morning as she comes in to enjoy the welcome back into Les Sables d'Olonne, where she left 111 days ago on this famous boat. Until now, the pinnacle of Alexia's racing career was the race across the Atlantic, two-handed in the Figaro. She was third in 2014, I think it was, with Laurent Delacoué on 30 Corsairs, 30 Corsairs. By comparison, that was a little sprint. It was only a 22-day race across the Atlantic. St. Barth started 30 minutes. That race was won by Gwynole Gahine and Paul Mea. And Alexia and Laurent beat in that race. They beat none other than Roland Jourdain and Martin Lepate were fourth, and Nico Leuven and Eric Caron were fifth. So, as I said earlier in the broadcast, a very, very accomplished sailor in her own right, who spanned all the different disciplines that sailing offers. She's also an accomplished triathlete. You can hear the crowd now in the background just starting to form. It's one of these remarkable things in Les Sables d'Olonne, even with social media and everything else and the immediacy of social media, there are still plenty, hundreds of people just come out their houses to welcome the Vendée Globe skippers back just because of the noise in the channel. And these are, of course, the moments the skippers think about and dream of. Finish line in the channel, the iconic moments of a Vendée Globe successfully completed. As I said earlier, sometimes the skippers like to maximize, or skippers and their sponsors like to maximize the impact by picking the time of day to come in. Well, in this case, I think Alexia deciding that the opportunity to catch the channel at 8 o'clock this morning, this Sunday morning, is too good to miss. Because these back pains, cold night, and the thought of waiting another few hours is not one that she relishes. So it's very much a contemporary of Sam Davis and Miranda Merrin in terms of the span, the length of their sailing careers. Their paths have crossed many times. Indeed, all three of them did the Calais Round Britain race on board Roxy with Sam Davis. The year before, Sam did the Vendée Globe 2008, 2009. Sam did the Vendée Globe, and the year before that, they did a Calais Round Britain race. And all three of them were on board Roxy. Alexia was a match racer really to start with, as indeed Sam did a lot of match racing in her early days. But 2003, Alexia was fifth in the European Match Racing Women's Championships, third in the World Championships. 2005, she did the Transat, the Mini Transat on Roxy. And then in 2006, she did the Transat Asia with Sam. And then I say that 2007 record round, well, that was the Calais Round Britain race, but they set a female crew record round the British Isles on that race. She did the route to the equator record with the Florence Sarko in 2007. There's a well-known face on board the Maxi Peter Harrison's Sojana. She's raced on since 2011, I think. She races on 6 meters. She races on the Tour Voile. She sailed in 2017 on Pink Lady. She sailed in the Voile d'Antibes and the 8 meter Hélène. And ran her own Tour Voile program in 2015. So bow number 6, as you'll see, completing this boat, completing its 6th round the world passage. Remarkable record for a boat which was designed by Mark Lombard for 1997 and launched in 1998. So there are nice close-up images of Alexia. Very tenacious young lady indeed, who celebrated her 41st birthday during the race. celebrated her 40th birthday off the coast of Brazil and return journey from the Transat Jacques Vabre last, that would be last year. So passing there, the early morning welcome from the residents and the fans of the Vendée Globe from the La Chaume side of the channel there, that left side. I think we worked out the other day there have been 116 skippers over the course of the race who've finished the race now. Of course, as ever, the Vendée Globe is a success finishing the race, but as more often than not, it's as much of a battle to get to the start line. And Alexia succeeded there against the odds, really. She was up against it financially. Even just looking back when you review some of the articles written not long before the start, she was still struggling. So all credit to her sponsors who came on board TSE, this French solar energy company. Saw the opportunity, saw what Alexia could deliver for them. She has a big pool of sponsors as well. She has her own sponsors club. She's run that for quite a number of years to support her sailing projects. Worked very, very hard with them. And over the years has learned how to deliver, how to work the sponsorships to their maximum, keeping the sponsors happy. And as I said earlier on, she's already said to us in the last couple of weeks that she intends to be back in 2024. This is just her first Vendée Globe. And sometimes you do have to reflect just how the magnitude of the achievements for skippers like Alexia, like Pip Hare, like Didac Costa, sailing these older, more physical boats. And in the case of Alexia, the sheer duration required, 111 days, you could argue is as much of an achievement as going faster and getting in quicker. And next Saturday, then, in a week's time, we should be welcoming Ari Husela in. Ari passed the Azores yesterday, very, very early yesterday morning or during the previous night, passing close to Horta, which was his first piece of land he'd seen since Cape Horn. And Ari will close the course, as it were. He will be our final finisher, and he will enjoy the channel next week, all things being equal. But as ever, you have to keep focused all the way into the finish. We know that Alexia told us yesterday, when we spoke to her yesterday morning, she was telling us that only less than 48 hours previously she'd passed within 10 meters of a fishing boat, which had no AIS, didn't pick it up on the radar. She told me that she was so close, and she's not exaggerating. She said she was so close, she could see into the galley and see what they were cooking. So there she is, Alexia, with La Penguin. So moving into the Port Alona Marina is TSE For My Planet. She'll be alongside the Ponton d'Honneur in just a few minutes. I'm guessing, and I'm afraid can't be sure, but I'm pretty sure that was her father on the foredeck with her there. Parents are Michelle and Michelle. That's her mother there. So they originally come from Paris and moved to the south, moved to the Mediterranean in 1983, arrived in the Côte d'Azur. Her parents worked for interiors companies. And in 2005 was our first passage across the Atlantic in the mini transat. 2009, she set up My Planet. To her credit, that's over 10 years that she's been running For My Planet. And of course, the awareness of ocean health and sustainability has increased massively over recent years. You have to credit Alexia as being one of the pioneers. She did, I think, in actual fact, she tried to do a round the world solo passage before on an IMOCA in 2009. When she originally set up For My Planet. So clearly struggling just a little bit with this back injury, and we know that as soon as the main protocols are done, the press conference, the quotes, she will be taken away for full medical assessment. She's been on quite strong painkillers for a few days now. Yeah, it was on February the 15th that she fell and injured her back. And all the way through her race, she said that competing in the Vendée Globe is a privilege. She said, I try to take on problems with a smile. You don't have to live your problems under a black cloud. You should solve them, move on, and be ready for the next one. And as they say at the Vendée Globe, there's one problem every day, at least. Her toughest moment in the race was in the south when she blew up that runner block. Nearly lost the mast. She managed to roll up the J2 and to jibe, take the strain off the mast. It took her a day or a couple of days to get things sorted out. And afterwards, she said, there's much more serious things in life than blowing up a runner block. So here we go then, TSC on my planet approaching the Ponton d'Honneur, just passing the bow of Sam Davis's Initiative Cur, as you'll see. I'm sure Sam will be around to greet another of her long-time sailing friends and rivals. Sail together.
Bravo Alexia. Bravo, bravo. C'est l'arrivée.
So that's one very, very happy Alexia Barrier. Just going to be helped off her boat.
Bravo Alexia.
So there we go. This is the moment that she promised she would not need help with. Champagne.
L'habitude.
But in the end, I think this is her partner helping out. Certainly getting the lid off. But she will get the first drink, I'm quite sure.
Merci les Sables.
So just saying thanks. So we know that on the pontoon, well, Jean-Pierre Dick is on the pontoon, Catherine Chabot, and of course Sam.
Lâche là. Oh là là là. Hop, hop, Nika. Allez hop. Allez hop. Oui.
There's her doggy, Nika.
Aïe, 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 aïe.
Là, Mika, tu vas bien?
She rolled her back now.
Salut Romain.
Ouais, Alexia, bravo.
Salut Ben, merci.
Alors, t'as réussi encore à faire un tour avec le bateau?
C'est incroyable. Avec Catherine.
So she's now speaking with Romain Athanasio,
Septième tour.
Sam Davis' life
Hey
partner.
Manu.
Manu Cousin is there
Merci
apparently.
d'être venu, c'est canon. Sacrée aventure, hein.
Was Roman sailed the boat in the last race,
Alors, tu peux nous raconter un peu ton aventure?
and
Eh
so knows
bien,
exactly what.
je suis partie avec le plus vieux bateau de la flotte et finalement je suis arrivée au
So I
sol.
left with the oldest
Après,
boat
ça
of
fait
the
quoi,
fleet,
11 jours,
but I
sans doute, je sais
finished
plus,
and
je
I
suis
arrived in
comptée.
Les Sables.
Et oui, c'est passé plein de choses, mais comme pour d'autres
Many
skippers,
things happened, like for many other
des
skippers.
grosses frayeurs, des
I
gros
had
moments de
lots
joie,
of
des grands moments de
big
bonheur,
fears,
et
great moments
puis,
of joy and
voilà, une
happiness,
aventure fantastique
and then a
et
fantastic adventure
qui pour sûr restera
that
gravée
for sure will
en
stay
moi pour toujours et me donne
engraved
très
in
envie
my
de revenir
mind.
dans 4 ans avec un
And
bateau
it
plus rapide.
makes me
Évidemment.
want to come back in
C'était
4 years with
fantastique,
a faster boat. It
absolument
was
fantastique.
fantastic.
Ce bateau, il est incroyable. Il a fait
This
combien,
boat is
Catherine?
amazing.
7 tours du
It
monde,
has done 7 rounds
5
the
Vendée
world,
Globe. Voilà,
5
ça
Vendée
se
Globe.
passe de commentaires. C'est une légende.
And so
Merci
you,
d'être
no,
pas
you
moi.
don't need to comment
Je vais
this.
me laisser lui faire un bisou, même si ça fait mal au dos.
I'm going to try to give it a kiss, even though it hurts my back.
Merci mon bateau.
Thank you, boat.
Et ouais, bah écoutez, après, c'est sûr qu'il y a eu des moments de frayeur. Je vous racontais
So I had-
là, dans l'Indien, le Pacifique, je sais
I
plus, le
was
jour de Noël,
really
quand mon mât est plus
scared
à
at the
90 degrés vers l'avant à
Indian
partir de la
Ocean
première barre de flèche, parce que ma
with my
backstack a
back.
cassé, et là j'ai eu
When my
super peur.
backstay
Pas
broke,
peur de mourir, évidemment,
I was
juste peur de
very
ne pas terminer, ça
afraid.
aurait
I
été
was
catastrophique.
not
Et
afraid of
puis,
dying. I was
il y a
just
une dizaine
afraid
de
of
jours,
not
je tombe dans le
finishing.
bateau et je me fais super mal et je pouvais
And
plus
when I
marcher.
fell in the
J'étais
boat
obligée
and
de ramper sur le pont, là ça va mieux
walk
depuis 2 jours,
more, I
j'arrive à nouveau
crawl
à me
on
déplacer.
the deck.
Et voilà, c'est
A
des
little bit better, I
épreuves,
can still move around. But those are
qui n'enlèvent
difficult
rien à
obstacles.
cette formidable aventure et à mon bonheur
But
d'être
it's
Sable
an
d'Olonne et
amazing
accueillie d'une
adventure, and
manière
it's a great
extraordinaire.
happiness to be here in Les Sables d'Olonne and be welcomed in an amazing way.
Et toi, t'es content? Ouais. Bon, on va boire des coups.
On va faire une photo toute l'équipe. Derrière
Ouais, ça
Alexia.
va.
Avec toi, ma belle, bravo.
Merci. Nika, as. Allez, as.
Tu l'as fait en bas, moi je l'ai fait là.
C'est bien. Les péricrones. Venez les filles.
Attends, on n'a pas le droit.
Avance. Bon, ben, on la fera tout à l'heure ensemble. Et mon pépère, t'as vu, il réussit? Super.
Vous êtes tous là? Vous êtes tous équipés là? Allez. Et vous faites un truc super sympa là, à 3, ok? Attends un peu. Et bon.
Il manque Félix. Et Jean-Paul.
Merci Jean-Paul.
Qui c'est qui manque?
Allez.
Bon, Alexia et Pipi. Ouais. Oh, c'est bon là? Vous êtes tous là? 1, 2, 3. Allez, encore une fois.
Allez, une dernière.
Alors, ma belle, petit programme. On va juste
So Alexia, they're just talking with our press manager, discussing what she's going to do about the media. We're going to have our press conference as normal. But in the meantime, credit to her team, project manager Marc Clavero, Julot Bigot, Franck Giffon, Corentin Cousin, Gerard Vernard, and Warren Fitzgerald are the key members of Alexia's team. Now the skippers on the dock. We see also Ruben, Sam and Roman's son there. Sam's there, and there's Jean-Pierre Dick. Who has come up or come down from Brittany to see welcome Alexia back. Probably the most successful Mediterranean Vendée Globe skipper. Would you say Alexia, the first Mediterranean female skipper? Meeting Sam and Ruben. So Roman, of course, sailed the boat in the last race, and Tanguy de la Motte sailed the boat in the previous race. Manu Cousin. And Miranda, I think.
Quelle abnégation.
The other Vendée Globe skippers who were on the dock.
Celle qui s'est fait arroser. T'as remarqué?
Impeccable. Regardez ici.
So I know it is Catherine Chabot.
Vous êtes prêts là? Allez, c'est bon.
Not Miranda.
Ouais.
She's hiding under her
Ceux
hat.
qui sont derrière en haut là. La caméra qui donne, c'est pas grave. Tu peux te décarter un peu.
Tout, Alex.
So Vendée Globe skippers past and present. The most present of them being, of course, Alexia Barrier, who's just finished her race. Skipper who finished before her, albeit a week ago. Manu Cousin there in the blue. Her ex co-skipper, Sam Davis. With the AG2R before together. Roman, who sailed La Penguin, the boat in the previous race. Catherine Chabot, who the boat was built for in 1998. So she did say that she wanted the pizza and champagne. She's had the champagne. Pretty sure she's had the pizza as well. And well deserved it is. She has all her friends, girlfriends, in these pink wigs.
Par ici, par ici. Tu vas pas faire du. En réalité, je vais pas aller plus
So now she's going to have a quick word with the media.
So now she says she can go to the dock, but it was really difficult during 1 week not to be able to do much, to not be able to sleep. But I think it's the effect of the Sables d'Olonne that explains my smile. Jean-Yves Chauve brought me a specific belt to help me with the back this morning, and I hope to be able to do exercise to get fit once again really quickly. Jean-Yves Chauve is wonderful. He knows everything about physical trauma. He has a lot of experience without even having seen him. Every day we spoke together. He took news from me and gave me some advice, and it helped me to hold up, because at some point I couldn't even move. Yeah, the support was extraordinary from Jean-Yves and from so many people. I had so many messages. A lot of people got worried. About 10,000 kids communicated with me. They were really worried, and I sent them messages to reassure them. And also the whole organizing authority did a big job on this. So I realized that the mind and the human body are incredible. They can hold up until the finish line.
Tu avais fait preuve de déjà beaucoup d'abnégation pour monter le projet, et là tu es allé chercher des ressources encore.
You found more resources during this race, having already gathered many to build up this project. So yes, before taking the start, having to collect the money to buy the boat, and we installed the keel just 1 month before leaving. And I had to replace some sails. One of them tore in the Indian Ocean. It has been a big fight to be present at the start. And I was thinking that during the race, anything could happen. I was so happy to be there in it. That's what made me smile. Just these simple things, to be lucky enough to be still in the race. What do you remember of this race? I remember that nothing is impossible. You need a lot of will, you need a lot of work, and you have to stay optimistic, and then you can go through with all the challenges and the problems that you face. So this Vendée Globe was an extraordinary adventure. It's my first, but will not be my last. And I'm really happy. Are you already motivated to take a new start? Yes. As soon as the first finished the Vendée Globe, I was already thinking about which boat I was going to buy for the next one. But I still have to find a little bit of money to buy this one. The race to sponsorship is not finished, but we have some partners that are following us, that are continuing to follow us. That's already a great support. For the rest, I can say that having their trust is worth it. So now, Alexia, like to go up, have a rest, eat a little bit before.
There we go, Alexia Barrier coming up the red carpet to the her press conference, and join us live in the press conference in a few minutes. Once she's enjoyed her breakfast. So join us in a few minutes with Alexia's press conference.
en fais une.
Attention, ne restez pas derrière la caméra sur un.
Ah bon, d'accord.
Il va vous bousculer, il va tomber.
D'accord.
Mettez-vous sur le côté ici, madame. Mettez-vous sur le côté ici, elle va passer devant vous.
Viens, maman, viens.
Elle va passer ici, devant vous.
Vous avez la lumière? Allez, Alexia!
Together we can build a world, a world of our own. And we are, for the longest years, share